Percy. This is a story about Percy, the little green engine. He was very cheeky and loved playing tricks on the other engines. But one day, he needed to be brave. Percy loves playing tricks on the other engines, but these tricks sometimes get him into trouble. One morning, he was being very cheeky indeed. Beep, beep. Hurry up, he whistled to Gordon. Your express train's ready. Gordon thought he was late. And came out puffing up. But when he looked around, there was a train of dirty coal trucks. Ha ha! Laughed Percy. But Gordon didn't think it was funny at all. Next, it was James's turn. Percy told James to stay in the shed because Sir Topham Hatt was coming to see him. James felt very proud. He thought Sir Topham Hatt must want him to pull a special train. He stayed in the shed all day. And nothing his driver could do would make him move. The other engines were very annoyed. They had to do James's work as well as their own. At last, Sir Topham Hatt arrived. He was very cross with James. But he was even more angry at Percy when James explained what had happened. When Percy arrived back at the yard, Sir Topham Hatt was waiting for him. You shouldn't waste time playing silly tricks, Percy, shouted Sir Topham Hatt. You should be a useful engine. Later that week, Thomas brought the Sunday school children to the beach. He asked Percy if he could take the children home. Percy, he thought it sounded like very hard work, but he promised Thomas he would help. The children had a lovely day, but by afternoon, there were dark clouds overhead. Suddenly, there was thunder and lightning and rain came lashing down over the children hurried to the station. Annie and Clara were waiting at the platform. The children scrambled into the warm carriages. Percy took the children. Percy, take the children home quickly, please, ordered the station master. The rain pounded on Percy's boiler. Ugh! He shivered and thought of his nice... He shivered. He thought about processing that he broke down, so another engine would go instead of him. But then he remembered his promise. He must make sure the children get home safely. Percy set off bravely with his driver. Percy set off bravely, but his driver was worried. The rain is very heavy now, and the river was rising fast. The rain got into Percy's eyes, and he couldn't see where he was going. Suddenly, he found himself in deep water. Oh, my wheels! He shivered, but he struggled on. Swoosh! He hissed. The rain was beginning to put his fire out. Percy's driver decided to stop the train in the cutting. The guard went to find a telephone. He returned looking worried. We can't go back if we wanted to, he said. The bridge near the junction is down. We'll have to carry on to the next station. But Percy's fire was nearly out. He needed more wood to keep it going. Well, I will have to pull the floorboards and burn them, said the fireman. Soon, when they had plenty of wood, Percy's fire was burning well. Oh, he felt warm and comfortable again. Suddenly, there came a buzz, buzz, buzz. Harold was flying overhead. Oh dear, thought Percy, sadly. Harold has come to laugh at me. Boom! Something thudded on Percy's boiler. Ow! A parachute had landed, and on top of him, Harold hadn't come to laugh. He was dropping hot drinks for everyone. Everyone had a hot cocoa and felt much better. Percy, he gotten steam up now. Beep, beep. Thank you, Harold, he whistled. Come on, let's go. As Percy started to move, the water began to creep up and up and up. It was beginning to put out his fire again. Oh, shivered Percy. Percy was losing steam, but he bravely carried on. I promised Thomas, he panted. I must keep my promise. The fireman piled his fire high with wood. I must do it, Percy gasped. I must. Percy made a last great effort and cleared the flood. 3 cheers for Percy, called the vicar. And the children cheered as loudly as they could. Harold arrived with Sir Topham Hatt. Harold told me you were splendid, Percy, said Sir Topham Hatt. He says he can beat you at some things, but not at being a submarine. Well, I don't know what you've both been doing, but I do know that you are a really useful engine. Oh, thank you, sir, whispered Percy happily. The news of Percy's adventure soon got back to the station. Gordon and James heard about how Percy kept his promise and traveled through a terrible storm to bring the children home safely. They both thought he was very brave and forgave him for all of his tricks. Percy realized that although playing tricks could be fun, it was much more important to be a really useful engine.